I mean, they're probably just going to sit in there just to, for the most part, sell treats and stuff, but that's all they got.
Right. Well, I went live right now until Daily
Here we
gets
go,
there.
baby.
I want to talk about this. I said, Hardline, who we miss so much, now lives in Phoenix. All right. And he doesn't know what's going on with the gas crisis here in Las Vegas. Daily, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Didn't realize we were getting on so soon.
Well, we talk about the breaking news. You know what's happening in Las Vegas, California with the gas?
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect time for Super Bowl weekend too.
No gas anywhere. It looks like 1976 with cars that they'll be out of gas today, and they're saying 7 to 10 days. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's a great way to start the Super Bowl, right? I got a prop bet for you. There'll be 17 fights, over under 17 fights today at Sam's Club with cars in line.
Cool. Well, hey, welcome everybody. We are here. We're doing our Super Bowl preview show. We have the Hardline, and he's John Hardison, Cost of Winning podcast. He's on Spotify, Google, and Apple, and we are Daily Fish, and you can see us all over the place as well. So Super Bowl 57 tomorrow in Glendale, Arizona. Hardline, give us your bets.
Man, I can tell you right now, it is ridiculously busy down here between Waste Management, the Super Bowl, everything kind of going on. It is a festivity to be seen, and we haven't even gotten to the best part of the fireworks yet. But I'm super excited for everything that this Super Bowl has been built up to be. It really is the two best teams in the NFL that have gotten here. So I think that this is probably going to be one of the more interesting Super Bowls that we've seen in a while. I like the Eagles. I mean, look, for everything that Kansas City's done, and I know Fish is probably going towards the Eagles because, his love of the Raiders can't let him pick Kansas City. I think the Eagles get it done. I actually think the Eagles win at least by 2. I think the best for me is I think that Jalen Hurts, in terms of prop bets, is definitely going to end up getting a touchdown, more than likely a rushing touchdown, in my opinion, just because, especially when they go goal to goal, that's usually their guy that they get. I think they, start out fast. I think they start off aggressive, and we'll see. The biggest question I have about the Super Bowl, and I know they're playing it off, is the status on Pat Mahomes' ankle, and I assume his first couple drives we'll really know if he's really ready to go, or if Pat Mahomes is really hurting and this is just a day where he's got to live inside the pocket.
Let me ask you a quick question to both of you. Do you think it's going to be more his ankle, or do you think it's going to be more if the offensive line, who's going to kind of come under a little bit of attack at times with the Kansas City Chiefs, if they protect him? My guess is and you guys refute this. I think even if his ankle's a little off, but he's well protected, I think he does okay. What do you think about that?
You know what? I'll say this. You can protect somebody only for so long. You've got pretty much the number 1 ranked defense going against one of the top 5 offenses. At some point, there's going to be pressure applied to that line where they're not going to be able to hold up for 5 seconds or more. And so with that being said, he might have to improvise. He might have to do some magic, regular Mahomes magic. And we'll see if he can actually make that happen tomorrow. Look, the biggest part that I have to give Kansas City is this is a situation that they've been in before. This is their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years? So I think that they have enough experience to at least weather the storm. Maybe not necessarily completely overcome it, but at least weather the storm.
Fish, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, he's the most creative guy in the pocket I've ever seen, and I've been tortured by this guy being a Raider fan. So if you're going, I agree with Hardline. He's got this defensive line. They say their backups could start on 20 teams. So I'm looking. I hate to be a cliche. I'll tell you about the Super Bowl. I have no interest. I'm a football junkie. You know the best thing happened on Super Bowl week, they said, because the ratings are so bad on all these shows, there's no stories. Watch this, Hardline. When all the NBA fracases broke out. I mean, this is the greatest week in NBA history as far as trades. They talked about it on Radio Row for the Super Bowl. They're asking Super Bowl guys, Jerry Rice, Kevin Durant trade, Kyrie Irving trade, Russell Westbrook is gone. The Angels to the Lakers last. I mean, there was more NBA talk on Radio Row, JT the Brick said, than there was NFL talk. Get back to your question. Great defensive line, great the best improvisational quarterback I've ever seen. So that's a great chess match right there, isn't it?
I agree. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm with you, Hardline, and you, Fish. I think the Eagles are going to win. I guess what's the spread lately? I'm seeing 2 points. Has it changed at all, Hardline?
So I've seen 1.5. That's usually what it's going at now. They've even dropped it before. It started off at 2.5 and dropped to 1.5. That's what I said. At this point, I think the Eagles at least win by 2, maybe 3. It's going to be a tight game. I like the over in the game. Where I know a lot of people are kind of, it's not the biggest money maker per se, but I think that it's a safe bet to say that it's over 51 points. I mean, if you look at the first time Kansas City went to the Super Bowl and they played San Francisco with such a good defense, it was at least 51 points. So I think that you get over that because you have a better offense, in my opinion, in terms of Jalen Hurts than the 49ers did when they went a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think I'd take the over. Fish, what about you?
Hello,
Fish, can you hear us? Yep, we hear you. Yep,
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm still stewing over all these goddamn NBA. I'm going crazy. Yeah, guess what moron of the pick the Brooklyn to win the championship down. Fire sale. I mean, I hit some Earls and I got a great one. We'll do our props as far as season wins and losses. And I hit last year big with the Orioles. Well, I think Brooklyn Nets. I mean, we're talking sports, we're talking prop bets and stuff like that. And I'm shocked. And it was the biggest story. I'm still the biggest story during the Super Bowl week. First of all, guys, let me ask you: isn't 2 weeks too long?
To me, you know what? It's such a long period of time. The biggest thing for me in regards to the Super Bowl is this is a Super Bowl where you don't really have a villain per se. There's no. It's easy when you had Tom Brady in the market. 75% of people probably don't like Brady. 25% are rooting for them, and they're all in Northeasterners for the most part. In this situation, you got 2 guys that you could really root for. 2 guys that do a lot for their community. 2 teams that are pretty historic. And so, with that being said, I think the hardest part of the buildup of this Super Bowl is there's not really a guy that you hate. You got Jalen Hurts, and there's no real negative connotation about him. And Pat Mahomes, I mean, look, he's doing State Farm commercials. People love him. I mean, he's a lovable guy of the league. He is the new face of the NFL.
Yeah, I do think the 2 weeks is a little bit long as far as the lead up to it, but it's at the same time too. They get great hype. Do you have any under or over on the ratings? Because they're talking that they could be 110 million viewers coming out. That would be 1 out of 3 Americans are actually watching this, which would be absolutely incredible. We have about 330 million Americans there, and they're saying 1 in 3 it could go to 110 million. Are you seeing any prop bets on that, Hardline?
You know what? I'm going to take the over on that. I just think that, especially when you talk about this year's the largest year of sports betting that the NFL has ever seen, there's got to be an influx. And when you have money involved, when you have something to gain or lose, you're going to watch the game no matter what, especially how much sports betting has taken off. I got to believe that it's going to be over that number. So I'd easily take the over in that situation, especially because that you have a dominance over a certain market when 4 or is it 3 other sports tailor their schedule not to interfere with yours. You know, you've got program shows like HBO that are making episodes available on Friday because they don't want to compete. The NBA has stopped their games at 12 o'clock, along with hockey. So the fact that you can do that tells me that you're going to have a very successful day.
Yeah, and golf is doing the exact same thing. I agree. Fish, let me throw this at you because technically, I mean, Philadelphia is a major city. It's in the top 5 or 6. Kansas City, I wouldn't say is. And these are real regional teams. The Cowboys, the Raiders, the Patriots are kind of a little bit more national type teams. Do you agree with that? Do you think it's going to go over 110 million, even though this kind of comes across as kind of a regional one? At the same time, too, this is the Super Bowl, and everybody who doesn't watch football watches this and gathers and gets together with it. What do you think?
It's hard. I mean, take Chuck's Tavern, for example. There's going to be 140 people in that place watching it on 6 TV sets. So how do you meter what it really is and what do you stream? Yes. In reality, there'll be over 110 million people watching it. I don't know what they do. I don't know if Nielsen's involved. I don't know how that really works, Daly. You know better than I do, the media guy that you are. But yes, and it's going to be streamed everywhere around the world. And the people in other countries that are going to want to watch it. But again, I mean, Hardline, you see the ratings for the Pro Bowl last week? A flag football game blew everything out of the water. So tomorrow, and I agree, John, it is regional, but Kansas City is a marquee team in the NFL circle. Mahomes is the MVP, and he's so much fun to watch. And here comes Jalen Hurts, the young stud in there. It's funny because you got Nick Sirianni, the coach of Philadelphia. He's kind of a pompous ass, cocky, sort of like Craig Sheffer's character in Some Kind of Wonderful. You know, the kid that was an elitist and a punk and a bully, and he gets his ass kicked by the fattest kid when it came down to it because he kept bullying him. All right. And you got Andy Reid, who's just by far, if he's not a Hall of Fame coach, I don't know who is. So it's a great storylines. Yes, it's going to be a highly watched Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think people are just dying to be watching it just because it's a tradition now. Let me throw in a couple of other things. One of the prop bets that I'm looking at, I'm not saying I'm going to take it, but a safety during the Super Bowl, and it's a plus 1,000 bet. So, what if you bet $5 on that? That might be actually pretty good. And listen to this. I didn't realize these stats. There have been 13 safeties in 56 Super Bowl games. Yeah. 13 safeties. I did not realize that. And there hasn't been one since Super Bowl 48 with the Broncos and the Seahawks when they played. What would you suggest on that, Hardline? Is that worth? Because I mean, Fish takes these great bets on the Orioles, and puts a little money in there because it's so big. Would you take the safety bet in this one?
You know what? It couldn't hurt, honestly. I mean, $5 on a plus, plus 1,000. If it comes away, it comes away. And look, especially as we just talked about with Pat Mahomes' ankle, maybe there's some timing issues. Maybe how loud. Because if you've ever been in State Farm Stadium, it gets loud. It can get very loud. It's not like one of those stadiums where, no matter how loud you get, it doesn't echo. It echoes in there. So there's a possibility that can happen. To throw 5, maybe 10 wouldn't be a bad idea on that. I wouldn't put like 200-300 on that though, just because the likelihood of it hitting completely isn't as strong. But I would do it.
Fish, you're the master of the goofy prop bets. What do you think?
Goofy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's goofy prop bets out there. I mean, there's a prop bet. Who's the halftime performer again?
Rihanna.
There's a prop bet that does Rihanna go past 45 minutes. You can bet that. Wow. I mean, a few years ago there was a prop bet, Hardline and Daly. Is Bill Belichick going to wear a hoodie? Well, he knows this. So why? How do you know that Bill Belichick doesn't go through Joey Bag of Donuts to Tony Santrianto, and all of a sudden he's betting, here, go. I mean, it's crazy. Of course he's going to wear a hoodie. People took that bet, yes or no. They bet in the coin flip. Stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, they bet on the safety. You're right. I remember. Funny, for Jenny brought up a great. I remember the first play of the Broncos and the Seahawks in that game you talked about was a safety. The ball flew over Peyton Manning's head, and it was a safety. And I remember my brother-in-law Dave Pinotti had that. And he shit himself. You know, I mean, you made a ton of money right there. So I mean, then literally shit himself. That's an expression. But I mean, the prop bets I like and on Hardline, I have to ask you because you're the guru on this. Is over under 2.5 field goals or something like that. In a high scoring game, I would go over.
Over.
Yeah, thank you. What would you do? You say over, right, Hardline?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely over. And that's one guy that we got to watch tomorrow too. Buckner's been injured. I don't know what that hamstring is going to do, but that, 1 or 2 missed field goals might cause an issue. But yeah, most definitely I would take the over, especially because Jake Elliott, the Philadelphia Eagles kicker, could kick past 50 yards. I'm gladly taking that.
Okay, I got a prop bet for you. This is the Daily Fish prop bet. I'm just making this up. Fox is doing a game tomorrow with Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen, and thank you, Tom Brady, for waiting until 2024. Because Greg Olsen and I talked about this, Harlan. He's terrific as an analyst. He's risen up above Tony Romo. How many times, Daily, does Fox go to the crowd and show celebrities? Over under 15 times.
Over.
Ooh.
I go over.
Me too.
I'm gonna go under, and it's only because this isn't LA. If this, like last year's Super Bowl, God, every 3 minutes or every 30 seconds was a new celebrity. This year, because it's in Philly, it's in Arizona, I'm gonna take the under on that one.
Okay.
I guarantee you Fox has a lot of the stars from their different series at that game, and they will be there hitting the promotion button. And all of them do that. That's why I think you're going to see a lot more celebrities. But that's a good one, Fish. What
you're right. When the Rams were in the Super Bowl last year, Hardline, against Cincinnati, they showed Leonardo DiCaprio because the game was in SoFi, right? And he's just shit-faced. He's got a martini in his glass. Not even watching the game. And whoever did the game last year, I think it was Nance and Romo. Oh, there's Leonardo DiCaprio. And if you only knew the camera was on him, that was a wonderful moment. Daly hit the nail on the head. You know what Daly hit the nail on the head? And also, he asked me on a previous show, you would not believe, Hardline, since you're in Phoenix, how many people are in Las Vegas that have tickets for that game and are going to drive up Sunday morning or late Saturday. I talked a lot of casino people that are my customers. There's a ton of people that are in Vegas partying. Okay, where are you going to party? If you're living in Phoenix, tell people, Hardline, Glendale's 35 minutes away. There's not a lot of strip clubs. There's not a lot of Dre nightclubs there. There are so many people partying in the clubs here, celebrities, and they're going to helicopter or how the fuck they get there are going to get there. When Daly said that to me last week, I said, he's full of shit. Spot on, Daly. Way to go. That's a good prop bet. Yeah. Over under. Daly's right about something about football. Well,
under.
Over.
But you know what, Fish? You brought up a good point. And that's something that I didn't think about, which is if they're driving tomorrow with this gas situation,
absolutely,
how's that going to work? Especially with airplanes. I don't know, how this is going to work now getting down here.
Well, they'll get there. They'll figure out something. It's a high roll. They'll figure out something. But there's I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll do it. Is there? Hey, Daly, is there an Amtrak that goes from here to Phoenix? I'm ignorant to that.
So. No
train.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Hardline, you got gas. Hardline, what do you have? You have an SUV?
Sedan.
Okay. This is Daily Fish breaking news. If anyone needs a ride from Vegas to Phoenix, Hardline for $2,000 will take you. He'll drive. He has paid gas there. He'll drive to Vegas, pick you up, and take you to the Super Bowl and give him $2,000. And these people will do it. I just made you some money, Hardline. I want 10%, motherfucker.
Hey, I could put Westwood one on the radio. I'm fine. I'll drive up there and drive back. It doesn't bother me.
Daly, back to the game. This is a question for both. I'll go Daly first. I'm a big advocate. I always think that turnovers are going to be the deciding factor in something like this. Do you think it'll be a turnover, or do you just think it's going to be one of those shootouts like we see sometimes in the Super Bowl?
I think you're going to see a couple of turnovers. I think you're going to see some interceptions. I think, if I had to guess, if I had to take a bet, I'd say at least 2. And I think one of the reasons is because what we're seeing with a lot of these teams are the defense is so good that they're just tipping away passes, and a lot of passes are bouncing, off the receiver after the ball's been thrown, and there's another defender right there. I think that's how it's going to happen, if anything, because I think for the most part, Hurts and Mahomes are, they're fairly cautious when they're doing just a regular drop back passes. But I think you'll see some really good defensive plays that'll cause some tips, and I would guess at least 2. Hardline, what do you think?
No, I totally agree with you on that. I think that you know what? There's a prop over under 2.5 turnovers. I go over. I think you're going to get someone, honestly, that as you said, it's a tip ball. Maybe something's supposed to go up to Kelsey, and they're playing zone, and there's a guy behind them that's able to catch it. I think that you're going to get something along the lines of it wasn't supposed to be that way, but somebody ends up getting 2 feet in bounds and just gets an interception or something around that lines.
What's your take, Fish?
Over under 7. Okay. Who do we see more than 7 times? No, not turnovers. Who do we see? This is one for Hardline, and then we'll go Hardline. And John, you're the host, so you call this. But I got over under 7. One of you guys jump in. 7. How many times we see Jake from State Farm, Flo from Progressive, or Rob Gronkowski doing any freaking commercial? He's everywhere. I'm going over on State Farm. I'm going under on Flo because she's an idiot because John Hamm likes her. And if anyone won't go on a date with John Hamm, who's a gorgeous guy, I mean, you know what she looks like? She looks like she's one of these broads you meet in a bowling alley. All right. Under on Flo. All right. And then Gronk is everywhere. I counted 5 different products that Gronk is advertising. So I'm over on Jake Daly. You go first. Under on Flo.
I'll go over. Over on Jake. Over on Jake. Just because Mahomes. Go.
What about Flo? Because Progressive
on Flo, I'll go under on Flo. I agree with you. Progressive's probably not going to be there that much. And then with Gronk, oh my God, Gronk's going to be over. And Gronk's also I think he's got his own show. He's going to host one of the pregame shows around 1:00 Eastern time, I think, on Fox.
Fox, yeah. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
I go over with everything. I think that all of them are going to buy spots for everything. I think that they're going to cross promote something. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Gronk is in a Flo commercial and then turns around and throws the ball to Pat Mahomes in the State Farm commercial. I would not be surprised by any of this.
Yeah.
Hey, there's going to be one commercial there with a guest of Daily Fish. Popcorners, which I guess is a popcorn. Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul are going to be in that commercial. So you got to look for that. That's kind of interesting. The other one I'm kind of curious about, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of companies are stepping up. John Travolta is going to be in a T-Mobile commercial singing. So I think for us older folks, that's kind of cool. Have you guys seen anything or what you're going to be looking for?
I'm going to look for Doritos because it's always a Doritos and a Rocket Mortgage commercial.
I want to see the broads that are an 80 for Brady on stripper poles, and Brady's sitting there giving them dollar bills, and they're like, "Hey, hey, hey!" I want to see funny stuff. I love funny commercials. He hit it. You guys are spot on today. Love it. Hardline, you hit it. Doritos always gives a great commercials, and there'll be a lot of commercials you'll see for tech companies, for new games coming out, the video games, and then movies they're going to promote. I can't think of a new movie that's coming out. We could ask Brian Torsen and get back at one time, but whatever new blockbuster movie is going to come out, whether it's from Paramount or Lionsgate, whatever studio, you'll see that promoted. But sometimes, and I'll tell you what I can't stand. I don't know. I love Rihanna. I've got a big crush on her. I can't stand a 45-minute halftime, guy. I can't. The average halftime is 12 minutes. Okay. John Daly's sex life for the last 2 years is the average halftime. 45 minutes, forget about it. I mean, I walk my dog. Do you walk Nike, dog? John, it's going to be a little later, but right around halftime, it's around 6:30 here on the West. I'll walk the dog and I time it. I go right back to the opening kickoff of the second half.
I usually watch the halftime show, and I'm not a big halftime show person, but I watch it because sometimes something weird happens. And I always want to test to see if anybody's as good as what Prince did those many years ago when he sang Purple Rain in the Rain. To me, that was one of the greatest performances I'll ever remember.
No.
So I do. No. Okay. Give me a better one.
Janet Jackson's tit fell out. You don't think there was guys with lotion, kids, 14-year-olds, going in the other room and saying, put the game on pause. You know, God, you talk about. I always had a huge. That's a hall pass for me. Janet Jackson's Drop Dead Gorgeous back then, and I saw that thing pop out, and the look on Justin Timberlake's face.
Do you remember what Super Bowl that was, or like who was playing in the Super Bowl?
I could care less.
See, that's the point.
Yeah, who remembers?
It could have been the XFL championship, but yeah,
that's the glory of being a man. I don't remember anything. I saw a titty and that was all.
Oh, that was it. You know, but the Daly's right. Prince, on a serious note, Prince's performance was the best I've ever seen. And McCartney's done it, and the Who's done it. Rihanna is just a fabulous, fabulous talent. I mean, Beyonce. Hey, kudos. You know, swag. I'm gonna segue here. Beyonce has the most Grammys of anyone in Grammy history, and she's done a Super Bowl. You know. Yep, I don't understand how she looks at Jay-Z and doesn't think that Hardline's more handsome. Jay-Z looks like a fucking squirrel. Hardline's in Phoenix now. He's got a great career going. He's losing weight. I mean, what the hell's wrong with these people? But yeah, the thing I'm looking for tomorrow is progressive commercials. Jake from State Farm. Daly, let me ask you this. Over under on the what kind of money does Jake and Flo make a year? I say over $500,000 in money. People ask me at the bar, what are these people making commercials? And forget the Super Bowl commercials. These are spokespersons for these companies and their national commercials. Over under 500,000?
Oh, way over.
Wow.
They're seven figures easily. And they're tied into and here's one of the reasons why is because both those actors who are great, they can't get any other roles now. Because if they went to audition for a part that's totally different, they're going to go, nah, it's Flo. No. So both those people, they're actually, that identity is there. So I'm sure if I'm their agent, I'm making sure they're locked in for a long time.
Okay.
And so I would say it's way over that.
I disagree with you. Leslie Odom is one of my favorite actors. He just stole the Many Saints of Newark, and he did all the Nationwide commercials. Remember, Nationwide is by your side. He sings. He said, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to get typecasted. And now he's one of the top actors out there. Did you see Leslie Odom? Have you ever seen Leslie Odom act Hardline?
Yeah, he was great in Glass Onion. Really.
And not only Glass Onion. What was the movie that was nominated for an award where it was Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Muhammad Ali, and he played one of the characters. Damn it, Miami Beach. They're in a hotel. You know, so
he played.
Who did he play? It was fantastic.
He was nominated in Miami.
Huh?
What?
One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami.
One of the best films that came out last year.
Yeah.
And he was a Nationwide guy, and he said, I'm done. I can't keep doing these commercials. I want to be an actor. I think you're right about Flo. This Jake from State Farm kid wants to act. He's a Royal Academy dramatic art actor. He might get out of it, but Flo's Flo. Like I said, when Flo's done with this, she's in the Fresno bowling alley hanging out with Derek and David Carr, trying to figure out what church they're going to afterwards and what pizza they're eating. So that being said, I want to give you one more prop bet. Okay. Now, John and I are in our 60s. The game lasts 4 hours. If we have some beverages, John, how many times are we over under 10 times we hit the pot? Or average an American our age?
In your case, I would say over. In mine, I'll say under.
I would say under because one of them is wearing debris, so they can last a little bit longer watching the game.
It all depends. I'm gonna give you my final score. I'm all in on Philly. I can't root for the Chiefs. I don't hate the Chiefs. I love greatness. Mahomes is great. Reed's great. They're in my division, but Hardline's right. I love Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the most humble, just tremendous amount of humility as a human being and a quarterback and a great kid. I like Philadelphia. Okay, listen to this one. Okay, 28-17.
Ooh, Hardline, what do you got?
I like Philly. I'm going to go with 35-30. And I like Philly on this because the last person to win MVP and a Super Bowl in the same season was Kurt Warner. It hardly ever happens. Ask Tom Brady. He tried so many times, couldn't happen. A lot of guys, they get to that point, but when it comes to it, it doesn't allow them to execute.
All right, I'm going to go. I'm going Philly also. I'm saying 31-24. I think it's going to be. I think you guys are spot on as far as there's going to be a pretty good amount of scoring in there. What's going to be fascinating, I think, is if Philly does win. If you think of the turnaround from 2017, almost completely changing that team, and if they win a Super Bowl, that's a tough thing. And you got to give the Philadelphia, you got to give Lurie and his management a lot of kudos, because I think there's only about there's only like 2 or 3 guys from that team before, and anyone that scored in that other Super Bowl is not on the team anymore. And so to me, I think it's a great step up. What I feel bad for is, Mahomes could go, could be the best quarterback in football, and he could have lost 2 out of 3. So that's what's so great about everything's on the line here. But yeah, I'm with you guys right there. And the other reason I'm going with you guys, because I'm always wrong. So this way, at least, I've saddled my bet here with you.
If Philly wins, though, especially because for a moment in that NFC East, I don't want to say that they were the laughing stock, but they were the little brother, because they had never really won a Super Bowl. And then even after they won that one Super Bowl, it still was, we'll look at, the Hogs in Washington, the Giants in New York, and Dallas. I think if they win this, you're going to start to see an arms race in that division of guys saying, wait a minute, it's starting to get a little bit closer than what it was, especially in terms of Dallas. We haven't been anywhere near what we should be. Things got to change, because now Philly's looking over our shoulder saying we're coming.
I agree. I think one of the things that could hurt the longevity of the Eagles is the fact that Hurts runs too much. And I think he's going to be prone to a lot more injuries down the road. Fish, what do you think?
They all run. Allen runs. Josh Allen runs. Herbert runs. Daniel Jones, terrific year with the Giants, runs. Mm-hmm. Hurts runs. Mahomes runs. I agree that it could happen. They could. There could be. He could get hurt. I'm not a next year guy. Never have been. I've always been do it now. There's always 15 to 18 new players on the team. So whatever happens with the Eagles, there'll be 18 new players on their team, and that's why you don't have a lot of repeat business as far as people going back to Super Bowl. What the Chiefs have done, that organization top to bottom, from the Hunt family to Andy Reid to Bieniemy, Spagnuolo, and that team is as a Raider fan, it's brilliance. It's like watching them, and we're run by the Mad Hatter. Go the other way. Philadelphia. Howie Roseman has won Executive of the Year. They was talking about Lurie. Their general manager is brilliant in just finding cogs to fit in free agency, and their drafts are fantastic. These two organizations are blueprints for success in the NFL. And you hit again, Daly, you're spot on, man. 2017, you got Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, that whole team. Doug Peterson, you got a whole new, and what's the one constant was Lurie and Howie Roseman. And in 5-6 years, you got a good young team, and the future's bright. But
and take it another step, Fish, too, is that when they drafted Hurts, it was in the second round, and everybody was saying, like, wait, and you start rebuilding with quarterbacks? And there was a lot of questions about him and what they did with him in a very slow process. I mean, last year they lost to Tampa Bay. Yes. And Hurts was okay, but he wasn't. You could just tell he was kind of sowing his oats, trying to get there. What a difference losing there and what he's done this year and what they've done with him. So that just adds to what you're saying. I agree. I think they've just done an incredible job. And that team, that defense, oh my God, that defense is just killer. And that defense is going to be around for a while. It's not like it's a bunch of old guys that they're going to be losing in the next couple of years.
You know what, Hardline? Give me take on this one. The thing about Hurts and Mahomes that impresses me the most is one word as a quarterback, and that's leadership. Okay? Hurts, the way he handled being benched for Tua at Alabama, the classiest. You see the guy who's 26-0 as a starter, he gets benched. Tua goes in and wins a national championship. Yeah, the kid goes to Oklahoma. All he talks about is how great Alabama is. So you knew you had in the head right there a kid that's a winner and is a team guy. Is there? I mean, look at Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes is it's insane. Shout out to this guy too. We're getting off track here a little bit. I watched the NFL Honors Award, and I know Dallas fans get mad at me for getting down on them and making fun of them. Dak Prescott won Man of the Year, and what that means when you win Man of the Year is you have the most philanthropy of anyone in the league. You give more of your time and more of your effort and more of your money to charity and causes. And he wasn't one of these guys, Hardline, that went with his social media and his camera in the children's hospitals. I was shocked when I read everything that he did. And, when you get guys like this in the NFL, we do a swag segment every week on our Hardline show today. I give him swag in Super Bowl week. Do you have any swags, guys, off the top of your head?
You know what? I piggyback off of what you say. A lot of things that he does, just not even in the Dallas area, but he's from Louisiana, not too far from where my dad grew up, and it's known that he goes back quite often. He gives back to a lot of the kids there. Especially for a guy that, what was Dak, like a fourth round pick? Fourth round pick, does a lot of things in time and effort. Mahomes as well does gives a lot of time and effort as well in the Kansas City area. So I give a lot to him as well. But there's just a lot of guys in the NFL that have done just really great work over the years. I think they honored DeMar Hamlin as well for his charitable organization, everything that he did at the NFL honors. And Fish, correct me if I'm wrong as well. He was there in attendance when they did that. But it goes to show you that these guys, even with a lot of their busy schedules, still find time to give back not only to their community where they're from, but the local community as well, and try to inspire. And that's really what sports is about. It's really inspiring the next generation of people to be better or more charitable than what, you currently got.
Go for it, Fish.
Well, I want to add, etiquette, change gears here. Where are you watching it? Who are you watching it with? And what is your etiquette when you watch? Let me tell you about me. I might be going to my son's house tomorrow, which means my sister, my mother-in-law, where if I've ever gone to someone else's house, and my son I'm familiar with, I've gone to people's houses and asked like I'm going to the bathroom and find another room where the TV is so I can watch the game and I'll listen to all the bullshit. Because there's nothing worse for a guy like John Hardison and John Daly, who are very versed in sports, to be sitting at a fucking Super Bowl party and some lady, passing the Grey Poupon and drinking some shitty champagne says, so what do you do? You need 4 downs, you get 10 yards? I hate that. I have gone to other people's houses and been thrown out because I'm stuck in a room watching on an 8x10, a little TV set, black and white, just so I could hear the game. I'm done with my dissertation. Where are you guys watching it? And are you as sick about it as I am?
Go for it, Hardline.
So I watch it at my house 9 times out of 10. Sometimes I'll invite people over to make sure. I always make sure that there's a plunger next to the toilet and extra toilet paper so people know and spray. So, hey,
John's coming over?
So we do that, fire up the grill. But the biggest thing is I make sure that I'm a huge audiovisual guy. So I make sure like I have the sound bar, everything turned on, it's streaming right or broadcast. And I make sure everything is set up great. And then if I get to a point where everybody keeps talking so loud, I'll say that I'm going for a run and then I'll come back in the side door and then watch it in a different room.
I've got a strange one tomorrow. I'm actually early in the morning. I'm flying to West Palm Beach, Florida, because on Monday I have to do a video promotion for Banyan Hill. And so I could have flown down late on Sunday. I said to them, no, you're flying me down very early on Sunday morning so I can be in the hotel room and I can be watching a lot of different things there. So I'm literally going to be on my own, which would be one of maybe the first time I'm going to watch a Super Bowl alone. So you guys can text me and you can get in touch with me while I'm there if you need some help with your family. Go ahead, Fish.
2 things about Daly. The flight to West Palm Beach. Can he borrow your plunger and the air freshener? And then if Daly's by himself and a titty falls out, at least we know he's by himself and can take care. Yeah, let's go through some comments. Jade Spees, big fan of the show. Casey Evans' girlfriend. I like the Super Bowl commercials and halftime show. Listen to this. Okay, we love this guy. Jesse Hearns. friend of the show there, Hardline. I just signed a 5-year, $50 million deal in December. So we have to get together soon and celebrate. I'll fly to Vegas. Fuck that. Sponsor the show. We need the money.
There you go, Jesse. Congratulations.
Jesse, we'll do
Congratulations,
Congratulations, man. But we don't make any money doing this. Only the Hardline makes money. We don't.
No, we definitely want to get together with Jesse because we could do the show right out of his restaurant because I'm sure he's going to have a great restaurant in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
The best sauces ever. His barbecue place, Hardline, you fly out. Oh my God, his barbecue stuff is out of sight. Good for him. Congratulations, Jesse. Jay, we know you'll be working hopefully and make some money. And everyone watching the Super Bowl, enjoy it. I'm excited because we're 1 week away from the XFL. Go Vipers!
Absolutely. And actually, here's what's really cool too. Tiger is playing next week in Los Angeles in the LA Open. Tiger is going to be playing. So there's some golf news for you. So you notice he didn't do it in the Phoenix one. He waited a week.
Well, because he wouldn't be the topic of conversation. Actually, that'd be great for him to play in the Phoenix. Phoenix Open was great. I watched highlights. JT the Brick said every celebrity on the planet was there and just hawking it up.
Yeah.
Are you shocked? I'm glad you brought that up real quick, John Daly. Are you shocked they did the Phoenix Open the same weekend as the Super Bowl? It's nuts.
Oh, they've done it always. They've always done it.
Yeah, but the Super Bowl's not always in Phoenix.
No, it's tradition. Actually, Pebble Beach was supposed to have it on what was Super Bowl weekend, and Pebble and the Waste Management, they swapped. And what the Waste Management has always done was, because they were thinking about maybe having round 4 on Saturday, but instead they've got it on Sunday, and but the round starts really early in the morning, so it's done it's going to be done at 2 or 3 o'clock your time out there. So it'll be done beforehand. The problem is you just don't want to have a playoff because that could really screw things up.
Can I ask you something, guys? Can we do a Hardline segment on Saturdays? Because John's going to be tough for Hardline to get on our regular show Monday, but he's a bigger part of the show as we are. Because I want to ask you next week about the floating lines in the NBA next Saturday, because I got fucked on the Brooklyn Nets fire sale. What are you laughing at? I would have taken you out for a hot dog with the money. Anyway,
I told you where the money was. I told you the money was in the Sacramento Kings. I told you go over 35 games. They're at 32.
No, the money right now. I want to ask you next week. Hold that, Daly. I'm going to ask Daly too, because right now everyone's jumping on Dallas and they're going to jump on Phoenix with Durant. But I'm saying it right now. I said this to you guys. Don't sleep on Denver. Denver's got a very good basketball team. All right.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that more. But are you cool, guys, with doing a Hardline segment like this? And because I need that 12-step program. When the NFL ends tomorrow night, yes, the XFL is there. But, Tiger playing in LA next week, that's great. Okay. It doesn't give me the over-under 7 on flow commercials. It's good for Tiger. I'm happy for him.
I'm here on Saturdays for you guys always. The biggest thing with Tiger, I hope and I pray that he's able to play more consistently now, instead of it being one and then he stops for a long period of time and then there's this buildup of when he'll come back or if he comes back. I just hope that he's actually healed his body and taken time to at least get in a position where he can be more consistent.
Yeah, I kind of I agree with you on that, but I do think that he is he's not going to be able to play week after week. I think he's going to just pick the bigger tournaments. He'll go for the majors. My guess is he's probably going to get ready. He probably won't play in Arnie's event down in Orlando. He'll probably get ready though for the Players Championship in Jacksonville. And if I have to guess, that's kind of what he's going to be doing. That leg injury that he had from that car accident, I mean, that he's just got metal in that leg. And you can see when he's walking, like when he was playing the different events, the father-son events, he's having a tough time walking. And it's just not, it's not a plant, and it's not that stride that he usually has. So, but I'm just happy he's going to get out there and he's going to give golf some ratings. So that's the good part. All right, guys. Again, this is Daily Fish. We're on Facebook at daily.fish.5. You can subscribe there. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon. You can watch us on Facebook at Myrtle Beach Golf Channel, Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. Check us out on Daily Fish on YouTube and also Wingding TV and Hey Vegas TV. And don't forget to look for Hardlines, the Cost of Winning podcast as well. He's on Spotify. You're at Spotify. Refresh me again.
Spotify, Google, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
And anywhere you get it. Okay, just like we are here as well. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a Hardline on Saturday. So we'll just have straight betting and we'll talk in goofiness that we normally do here between the three of us. And then Fish and I will be just doing the regular Daily Fish on Mondays. So
right. Well, I got a hard one for you. If Rihanna's tit falls out tomorrow, or any one of her dancers, there's your hard line.
You know how many pauses? That's when the NFL, the ratings slumped. Why did people stop watching? Rewind and pause. Rewind and pause.
What do you think, real quick before we get out of here, one last thing. What do you think they make? I heard that last year Lopez and Shakira, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira got $1 million each. That's $1 million for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great country. Love it.
But look how talented they are. I mean, that's, and they're going to get people to watch. I'm going to watch. I don't watch halftime shows. I'm watching that halftime show.
I'm not. I'm walking the dog. No offense, Rihanna, because, I like to, this is my thing. I mean, but I might watch it. I mean, who knows? We'll see. If there's a chance of your butt falling out, the dog's fucked. Hey, man, good seeing you, Hardline. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Saturdays. Daily, love you, man. Have a good trip to West Palm Beach. And we'll reconvene soon.
Love you guys. Thank you. Have a good Super Bowl. We'll be texting each other.